Now we move on. Our own student from Modern School, Himank Arya, he will be presenting on the same topic, the impact of COVID on mental health and economics. Over to you, Himank.
Good morning everyone. I am Himank Arya of class 12C Modern School India, and today I am going to talk about the impact of COVID. At first, let's take the case study of India and the impact of COVID-19 on the Indian economy. The impact of the coronavirus pandemic on India has been largely disruptive in terms of economic activity as well as a loss of human lives. Almost all the sectors have been adversely affected as the domestic demand and exports sharply plummeted, with some notable exceptions where growth was high. India's growth in the fourth quarter of the fiscal year 2020 went down to 3.1% according to the Ministry of Statistics. The graph here shows the economic growth of various countries. As per a report by CMIE, India lost over 6.3 million jobs during the first wave, followed by while many of the lost jobs were restored prior to the second wave. The impact on the agricultural sector. Since agriculture is the backbone of the country, it is the primary sector which employs a large chunk of the population. India is home to about 120 million smallhold farmers who contribute over 40% of the grain production. With the ongoing pandemic, livelihoods of all the people indulged in this sector is at a higher risk. Indian farmers are already facing issues like low rainfall, price volatility, and rising debts, and now the pandemic has also brought some fresh new challenges for them. The daily wages of the farm laborers have also come down by at least 40%. The contribution of the tourism sector to our GDP stands at 2.5% respectively. The tourism sector served approximately 43 million people in the year 2018-19. The pandemic has caused significant job losses in the tourism sector after the lockdown was implemented. This sector is staring at a potential 38 million layoffs, which translates to 70% of the workforce. A report from NCAER said 14.5 million jobs were lost during the first quarter, 5.2 million during the second, and another 1.8 million jobs during the third quarter of 2020-21. The tourism sector has been dealing with severe cash flow issues since the start of the pandemic. Now let's move on to Bangladesh. The impact of COVID-19 on Bangladesh's economy. Like in most other nations, the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic was an unprecedented shock to Bangladesh's economy. The GDP growth forecast of Bangladesh by IMF, WB and ADB has been revised downward from 7.8 to 8.2% to a range of 2.0 to 3.8% for financial year 2020-21. The revenue stream of insurance industry is suffering badly due to the pandemic, with fire and marine insurance likely to take the biggest hit. The textile industry was also derailed from its growth trajectory as exports fell by 54.8%, and the shutting down of factories impacted around 2.28 million workers in this industry. Due to the economic halt in place, millions of people are at risk of losing their jobs in several economic sectors such as ready-made garments, dairy, poultry, transportation and tourism, etc. Tourism and hospitality sectors in trouble. The tourism sector in Bangladesh is projected to lose BDT 57 billion, putting the jobs of 40 million people at risk. Travel restrictions and flight cancellations have led to a significant decrease in the occupancy rates of hotels, which is also shown in Figure 1. Figure 2 shows the change in number of weekly flights due to the COVID restrictions. Last but not least, now it is the case study of Uganda. The Ugandan economy is still emerging from the devastating impact of COVID-19, but prospects for growth are undermined by increasing pressure on its natural resources. Impact of COVID-19 on Uganda's economy. The country's GDP contracted by 1.1% in 2020 and is estimated to have recovered to 3.3% during the 2021 fiscal year. 780,000 people will become poor in the short term, while 2.6 million in the long run. Exports are expected to decline due to sharp reduction in global demand and travel restrictions. The significant shift of the Ugandans towards agriculture has heightened the urgency for the country to enhance the sustainable use of natural resources. Immediate losses in the tourism industry. Tourism contributes to approximately 10% of the GDP and over US dollars 1.6 billion in foreign exchange. The stoppage of airline travels and imposition of quarantines on inbound travelers across the globe led to a complete fall in the number of tourist arrivals in Uganda. Now, I would like to conclude my presentation. It was lovely sharing this information with you all. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, Himank. Now we